started, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. We're so excited to have you. My name is Elizabeth Stein, or a lot of people call me Liz. We're excited for this evening to be able to provide you guys with all of the information in regards to our steps to enrollment, as well as transfer information for the college. I work in our enrollment services department here at Santa Barbara City College as a student success coordinator. And I will be presenting this evening on our enrollment services side and our steps to enrollment, and providing everyone information about the college, our student services, everything. And really, it definitely takes a village to get here. I have a lot of my colleagues that will be supporting us or supporting me in the background, as well as Marisol Coda, who will be presenting in regards in a little bit on transfer. I want to just take a moment to introduce a couple people from our enrollment services department that are here this evening that are supporting us. Christy Renteria, who is also a student success coordinator in the enrollment services department, and Michaela, who is one of our outreach assistant student workers, will be manning our Q&A. So please utilize that Q&A as the presentation's going. Ask those questions. They will be answering those questions live, and we'll also have a live Q&A later on after the transfer presentation is done. And then we also have Angela Warren and Marisol, who will be presenting. They are both from our transfer center, our University Transfer Center here on campus, and will be presenting on transfer opportunities, our transfer admission guarantee, etc. So we're just really excited that everybody's here and that we have so many great people here to provide you guys with all the information and answer those questions for you. So a few housekeeping things. Like I said, during the webinar, the Q&A will be available. So make sure to type those questions in the Q&A box, which you can find at the bottom of your Zoom screen. We're also going to take some time later to answer some of the most asked questions so that everybody, questions that people are asking that maybe you didn't think about asking. So if we do it live and ask a lot of those multiple, questions that have been asked multiple times, then everybody that's here joining us is going to get the answers to those questions and get that information. Also, tonight's presentation is being recorded, and we will be sharing that link with everybody, hopefully in the next 5 to 7 business days. It'll also be available on our landing page within enrollment services and the Santa Barbara City College page, and can be watched later on. So if you think you missed something, or maybe we went quickly over some information, or you didn't catch something, you can definitely go back and watch the presentation later. We're going to be covering a lot on this webinar. So please, again, I don't hesitate to ask those questions and utilize that recording when we post it and send it out via email. And really, we truly are here tonight to present to you because we truly believe that students can reach their dream school, whether SBCC is their dream school, or they're going to use us or utilize us, I should say, as kind of a stepping off to get to their dream school. We really think that Santa Barbara City College is a great place to start that journey and follow your path. So let's go ahead and get started. Tonight, I am going to go over the what, why, how, and when of Santa Barbara City College. What is the SBCC? What makes us unique? What are we going to offer? What is our enrollment process? I'm going to cover all of those things. Why SBCC? Why do students choose Santa Barbara City College? What do we have to offer that makes it so enticing for students to come here from all over the world? Obviously, we have a lot of in-state students, but we also have students from out of the area, out of the state of California, as well as international students. And also, how you're going to get there. How are you going to go through the process of enrollment? And what are the things that you need to do? How are you going to apply? How am I going to register for my classes? How am I going to prepare and plan to transfer? So we're going to answer those questions as well. And then the when. When should you be doing all of this? What are the dates? What are the deadlines? What are important times of the year for you to be covering getting your application done or meeting with a counselor, et cetera. And our goal really tonight is to get you connected with the information and resources you're going to need in order to be successful in this process. So what is SBCC? So SBCC is only one of 116 California community colleges, which is kind of mind-blowing. We are a large state, but we have this incredible community college system, which I am a product of. I would not have been able to go to college if there hadn't been a campus located within driving distance to me, as well as the cost. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But I am a product of the community college system, and the fact that it's so big makes a huge difference because of access. We've also been recognized as one of the best community colleges in the nation. We offer certificates, associate's degrees, and transfer programs. And we also have 2 non-credit campuses where students may take advantage of classes to increase things like personal and professional development or personal enrichment. And but tonight we're really focusing on the credit side of our campus. If anybody would like more information about our non-credit, please put it in the Q&A and we can provide you that information, or you can email us. We're going to be giving out our contact information at the very end of our presentation. So first, let's talk about why Santa Barbara City College. Really, we're a low-cost, high-quality education. Our in-state students pay $46 a unit, and then each semester about $65 in fees. But those fees have perks. They have perks like utilizing our health and wellness clinic, and every student getting a bus pass through our MTD bus system. And this is that bus pass is no additional cost. That's covered within the fees that every student pays. Students, for example, within our health and wellness clinic can see a nurse, get over-the-counter medications, and even get personal counseling if they choose to want to seek that out. Our non-resident or out-of-state, so students that are considered out of state of the state of California, and our international students pay $351 a unit for the fall 2023 semester. That is a little bit different from the summer. The summer is a little bit less than that. And last night when I was preparing for this presentation, I actually looked up community colleges in Colorado. And so to give you kind of an idea, the community college in Aurora, for their in-state students, they're actually paying over $260 a unit, while our in-state students are paying $46 and our out-of-state and international paying about $351. So it really is that low-cost, high-quality education here at Santa Barbara City College. Our financial aid department can help support students, prospective or current, with internal and external scholarships. We are very fortunate in that we have a very robust foundation that works with us and is part of Santa Barbara City College. We have this large internal scholarship program that is opened typically at the beginning of January and always closes on March 2nd of every year. And those internal scholarships are for students that are transferring. They're also for students coming in right out of high school, for our current students. And the process is pretty, it's not gobs and gobs of paperwork. There's no, 3-page essay that you need to write or anything like that. We have this great internal scholarship program, and I really recommend that students take advantage of it. And you can get more information and support with that through our financial aid office. We also support students within our financial aid department in completion of their financial aid paperwork, such as the FAFSA or the DREAM Act. And then I want to talk a little bit about the SBCC Promise, but I do want to make this very, very clear and make sure that everybody understands this. The SBCC Promise is also a program that is funded through our foundation, but it is only for students that we consider our local high school students. So our local high school students are the only ones that are eligible for this. It does provide books, tuition, fees, and in some cases supplies for their classes for the first 2 years of their education. To be considered a local high school student and be eligible for this program, you do need to be graduate from high school, whether that be a private school, a public high school, or homeschool within our college district. And our college district goes from Gaviota to Carpinteria. So if you're not graduating from a high school within that area, you will not be eligible for the promise here at Santa Barbara City College. And I just want to clarify that, make sure everybody understands that we do have potentially some SVCC promise eligible students that are joining us tonight. There are some things that students need to do in regards to opting in, et cetera, and we can provide you that information if you like it. But again, I just want to clarify that that is only for our local high school students. Here at Santa Barbara City College, we have over 80 academic majors, and the top 5 that we have, and these are just, they're not, you know, like, oh, these are the best ones or anything like that. They're just our most popular. So students, the most popular 5 majors that students come in with are business, communication, engineering, psychology, and biology. And I just want to mention those because basically within those 80 plus majors, students are going to be able to find a major basically for whatever their educational goal is, whatever they're choosing for their career path. If you have questions about our list of majors, let's say you go to our website, you look up our list of majors and you're like, well, I want to do this, but I'm not exactly sure what major to choose. We can also in the Enrollment Services Department work with you on that, but we also will be talking about a mandatory step to enrollment in a little bit called class planning, where you're going to have time to meet one-on-one with the counselor and they can help you with that as well. The other thing that's great is community college students can change their major pretty much as they want. It doesn't matter if you want to change it from one week to the next. And actually our students at City College have access through their student account to be able to change their major when they want to. And typically, you know, students will change. That's very, very normal for students to change their major at a community college. You can really get a lot of opportunity to kind of spread your wings and try different things. And for example, I think I changed my major probably about 5 times when I was at my community college. And I know many, many others that I work with, our student workers that work with us, students that we work with. A lot of students may come in and not know what their major is. We also have support services that will work with you to figure that out. But often students do change their major and that's completely normal and okay. One of the things that makes Santa Barbara City College stand out really is our amazing student support programs. And I'm going to highlight some of them this evening, but this definitely is not a full list of all of the programs that we have at City College. There is a resource finder tool on our landing page, our Santa Barbara City College page, which is great because you can go in there and kind of answer some questions and figure out what services will provide the things that you need. So this is just some highlights. And again, if you have any questions, drop it into the Q&A. So first of all, I want to highlight EOPS. So EOPS stands for Extended Opportunities Programs and Services. And it's a state-funded program, and there are requirements. This is one of the few student service programs where there's some really strict requirements for students in order to be eligible. We really don't want students to make up their own mind about whether or not they're eligible. We really encourage students to meet with one of the advisors in EOPS and do a very quick intake process to see if you're eligible. There are things, many different aspects of the eligibility process that students may qualify for. And so that's why we really encourage you to go check it out for yourself and find out. Don't make that decision on your own because you may be eligible. And EOPS has a great menu of different things that they provide their students. So EOPS students can get their tuition paid for, their fees, their books via a book grant. Some students are eligible for things like meal plans and gas cards and things like that. They also have their own tutoring and computer lab, as well as, you know, they always doing some kind of fun event. They're always got food and eating and trying to build that community within that program. Students within EOPS also have access to their own financial aid advisor and academic counselors as well, in addition to their own advisor, somebody that you can drop in and ask questions. Maybe you're struggling in a class, maybe you're having a hard time, you know, finding a textbook, you know, all of those things that we kind of need support on while we're a college student. It's a great place where they encompass all of those needs that a student may have. One of the things that we hear students talk about all of the time is printing. You know, when you come to college, you have to pay to print. And so within EOPS, you can go up there and print for free. You know, you don't have to worry about, is there money on my student campus card to pay for printing? Is the printer working that I found? You know, which buildings are they in? All of that stuff. So that's another perk to being part of EOPS. The next one is our DSPS program, and that stands for Disabled Programs and Services for Students. Students that already have an IEP or a 504 plan from high school would definitely want to take advantage of the services through DSPS. And basically, it's a matter of just completing some paperwork, providing that 504 IEP plan, and they will then set up an intake appointment with you to see what services they can provide you, any accommodations that you may need, etc. Students also that don't have a 504 or an IEP plan, they can also go in there and see if they do have a learning disability and get assessed. I'll tell you my story. I was not aware that I had a learning disability until I was an adult, and I didn't know that I had ADD and was diagnosed as an adult. And I can tell you, thinking back, even as early as first grade, school was very, very difficult for me. And so that would have made a huge difference if I was able to take advantage of something like that. It definitely would have made college a lot easier. And so there you can get assessed, and it's of no cost. That's something I would like to reiterate, that these student support programs that I'm talking about today are of no cost. These are things that are provided for students to help them be successful, free of charge by the college. We want you to be, as successful as you can be, and everybody needs a little bit of help here and there. And so we have lots of student support programs to help you with that. The next one is our STEM program, our science, technology, engineering, math. Our coworker, Mary Lou, always calls these our wizards, because we laugh about our brains just don't work that way. We have a STEM center on campus where students can get tutoring, meet with their study group. They have access to an academic counselor. They also do things like field trips and to colleges with the majors that students want to transfer into, but also field trips to companies and businesses, because even within engineering, there's so many different pathways that you can take. And so they provide, all of that information and a space to be able to explore there. You also have an advisor that works with you, and a lab or space where you can go and hang out and, meet other STEM majors and get tutoring or study group or whatever you might need. They're there to support you. Our study abroad program, honestly, this is something I really wish and regret I never took advantage of study abroad. I'm, one of 7 kids. I'm first generation. I just kind of thought, oh, this isn't for me. It's going to be too expensive. And so I just really never researched it or looked into it. And we have an incredible study abroad program. And it's definitely, I laugh and tell the students, I'm like, I'm going to be that 70-year-old who's, trekking with my backpack with all the 20-year-olds, in Italy someday, on my bucket list, basically. And so I really encourage students to look into this. We have so many different trips planned each year, so that rolls over depending on, you can look at destination, what are they going to be studying, what time of year are they going. So we have some things like semester length, but we also have summer programs that are shorter. So there's definitely choices there. And I really encourage students, go to the informational meetings. Find out exactly what it's going to cost, what you need, what it's going to be like. Get those questions answered before you make a decision like I did and was just like, it's not for me. I'm not going to be able to do it. Because not only are students able to utilize any funds that they are eligible for via their Fast Forward Dream Act, but we also actually do have scholarships specifically, for study abroad students. So we really encourage students to look into that. It's just an amazing opportunity, one of those once in a lifetime things that students are able to do. I can't speak highly enough. And I'll live vicariously through you as you go back trekking around Europe. Something I think is just amazing about our college that a lot of students, unfortunately, don't know the depth of the services through our health and wellness program. So we have a clinic on campus that's part of it. Students can go in there and get access to nurses, nurse practitioners, buy, purchase, you know, if it's prescribed, things like antibiotics that cost. You can also just walk in and get over the counter things like Advil or you know, Tylenol or feminine products, things like a Band-Aid. You know, you cut your finger somewhere and you need a Band-Aid, you can walk into our clinic site and just get that. They have a station where you can just retrieve that on your own. The other piece of it is we also have a wellness program and it's called The Well. And I was actually spending some time looking at some of the things they have coming up, and I thought it was pretty amazing. Um, you can get, you know, healthy snacks in the well, and they have a lot of resources like self-care tools, self-reflection journals. I'm a journaler, so I would be 100% on board with getting one of those. They do things like stress management workshops to learn those stress management techniques. You know, being a student, it can be stressful trying to juggle everything. But I also looked at their actual calendar where they're doing some events, and they have things coming up like support groups, jewelry making workshops, yoga, meditation, and they even have a painting workshop coming up next month. So, and the one that I was just like, wow, about was they actually have a salsa dance class coming up. So, you know, it's all about self-care, and everybody's self-care looks a little bit different. And so our well, it's a physical space that you can go into where they have all of these resources available in these activities. And it's open again at no extra cost to students. That's all provided by the college. Something else that students can take advantage of within our health and wellness program is they can get up to 6 sessions of personal counseling. You know, maybe you broke up with a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Maybe, you know, you're struggling being away from home for the first time. Whatever the case is, everybody needs help at some point in their life. And sometimes when the stress gets too much, you're trying to juggle too much, it's a great place and a great thing to be able to take advantage of if that's something that you need. And so students can get one-on-one personal counseling with up to 6 sessions each semester. Our honors program, students that want to be part of our honors program on campus do need to apply to be part of that honors program. They do an application along with submitting a writing sample as well as their transcripts. They are accepting applications for the fall semester right now. And some benefits of being part of our honors program on campus are things like honor specific scholarships, annual outstanding honor student awards, membership to the Honor Society, Phi Theta Kappa, access to prestigious universities. You get a special graduation certificate. Actually, there's a notation on your transcripts. So it can be really beneficial for students that are, you know, looking to go out into the workforce or going to transfer to have be part of these groups, have access to these specific scholarships, but then also have all of those notations on things like your transcripts. It just gives you that extra, you know, points or whatever when you're going. I know that's not the right word, but when you're going towards transfer or going out to the workforce, it really looks great. Once students complete the Santa Barbara City College application, they can go ahead and apply because you do need to have that done before. Otherwise, we don't have a record of you in our system. So go ahead. If you're thinking about doing the honors program, you would want to apply to the college first and then do the application process. If you know that this is something that you want to do, you can ask in the Q&A for that page to be sent to you right now so that you can get that link. And again, if you have any questions about that, just let us know as well. The University Transfer Center. Well, I don't want to take too much of Marisol's thunder here this evening because she's a fantastic presenter and she has such a great amount of information for everyone tonight. That I'm just going to briefly say that for students that plan to transfer, you're definitely going to want to take advantage of this program. They do advising, webinars on transfer topics, access to university reps, and a lot more. And again, Marisol's going to talk a lot more about that in detail in a little bit. Our Basics Needs Center is located in our Center for Equity and Social Justice, along with our Umoja Center and our Dream Center. Basic Needs encompasses our food pantry as well as our Love's clothing closet. So, you know, students can go to our food pantry, get groceries. They can pick up snacks. Maybe you forgot your wallet at home, or you are completely broke like I was when I was a college student, and you're hungry and you don't have money to go to the cafeteria. You can go to the food pantry, get snacks. They've even sometimes had burritos, and you can make top ramen or cup of noodles and things like that. So it's a great resource for students. And then our Love's closet, you know, it's basically open to students to be able to go in there and pick out clothing, whether maybe you have a job interview, maybe you're interviewing for a part-time job on campus or off campus, and you don't really have anything to wear, but you don't really want to spend a lot of money on something like that. It'd be a great resource to take advantage of. Our LRC, which stands for, that acronym is our Learning Resource Center, is a great place to meet with a study group, utilize the study cubicle, study on your own, get tutoring, which is again at no cost to students. You should, as a college student at Santa Barbara City College, don't pay for tutoring. We provide tutoring pretty much in everything. I can't think of anything that we don't provide tutoring for our students, and again, that's at no cost to our students. And they basically are open, which is fantastic, on evenings and weekends. So a lot of our students will just take advantage of the Learning Resource Center just because of that. It's a place where they can go and study, do homework, etc., in the evening, at night, and on the weekends, to get some of their assignments, or maybe they're studying for a final, etc. They also, I just want to mention, sometimes instructors will want you to watch a video or some kind of media, and that's where that would be housed, and students are able to go in there and access that and watch that there. So again, with our transfer programs, the biggest thing I think that I personally talk to students about is our TAG, or our transfer admission guarantee. I do not want to steal Marisol's thunder. She's a much better presenter on this information than I ever could be. And so I'm going to let her talk a little bit more in depth about that as soon as I'm done with my portion. So I'm going to move on to academic counseling. So academic counseling, I can't stress enough that there's such a big difference between your counselor in high school and your counselor in college. Counselor in high school, you know, they're picking out your classes for you. They're making sure that you are enrolled in those classes. They're calling you up and saying, hey, how come you've missed 2 days of your history class? They're, you know, hey, I see that you're falling behind on your assignments. College counselors, or academic counselors on a college campus, they are not going to be doing that. They will work with you to create a plan, kind of a roadmap. It's called our SEP, or Student Education Plan, that is going to create this map based on your educational goals, and whether you want to graduate with a certificate in associate's degree or transfer, and where you want to transfer to, and what your career path is. And they're basically going to work with you and guide you and tell you, okay, this is where you want to take these classes here, and then you're going to take these classes the next semester. And that's the building of our educational plan. And students have access to that. And I am going to talk about Pipeline, our student portal, momentarily. But they have you have access to that student education plan, and that really is a big part of what our academic counselors do. They aren't calling you, oh, I see you didn't do so well on your final, or how come you haven't been showing up for class? You need to go to them. And we really recommend that students meet with their academic counselor at least once a semester to make sure that roadmap is updated. Things change, classes get dropped, maybe a class got canceled. Maybe you've decided to completely change your major. That's what academic counselors are there for, to make sure that roadmap and that student education plan is kept up to date, so that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing at the right time to get you where you want to be. Okay. CTE is our career technical education programs, and we have more than 50 amazing career technical education programs. And CTE programs are educational programs where you get the education and the training, hands-on experience that you would need to be able to graduate and then move out directly into the workforce. Some of our CTE programs require you to apply to the college, as well as then after you apply to the college, apply to the program. We call that supplemental applications. There are a handful of them, not all of them. It's about 5 or 6. And so if that is something that you're interested in, please reach out to us. You can quickly ask, we can quickly tell you, hey, you know, automotive technology, this is what I'm interested in. No, that does not have a supplemental application. Or I'm really interested in your marine diving program. Yes, that requires a supplemental application as well, a few other things. So like I said, the majority of our programs do not you do not need a supplemental application, but there are a handful. And so if you have any questions about that, please reach out to us. So let's talk a little bit more in depth about financial aid and the different types of financial aid that students can get access to at Santa Barbara City College. So our financial aid office will work with students and support them in completing their financial aid paperwork, as well as then awarding students their financial aid once that's completed. If you want to, you can use the QR code that's on the screen that will take you directly to the financial aid homepage, where you can find out about webinars, workshops, and they have a virtual desk where you can go in and ask questions, learn about who your advisor may be, all of that stuff. They are definitely there to support you. They have lots of webinars and workshops coming up. And some of you may have already completed your financial aid, whether it be a FAFSA or a DREAM Act. And so they can help you complete that. Like I said before, we have a huge internal scholarship program, but we also have access to information about a lot of external scholarships. And we have a scholarship coordinator that will work with you within our financial aid department to help you fill out that paperwork and get that submitted. We also have something in California that's called the CCPG, the California College Promise Grant. If you have already completed your FAFSA or DREAM Act, you've actually already done the CCPG. It'll take care of the CCPG and you don't need to worry about doing it separately. And again, you'll contact financial aid directly if you need help with completing that paperwork, or if you have questions about, hey, have you received it? Do I need to give you anything else? What's my award look like, etc. So for international students, and we may have some international students here this evening, again, the QR code is live, that's on there, and will take you directly to the international student landing page. Students that are international students have a little bit different of an enrollment process, and they want to reach out directly to our international students program. And there are some really important deadlines that are coming up fairly quickly. So for new to the college fall students, so if you're an international student, you're wanting to come to CC for the first time in the fall, the deadline to apply and do that process with our international students department is June 1st. If you are a transfer or current F1 student in the US, then that would be June 15th. So if you are an international student, I would really suggest that you either utilize the QR code, ask for the link in the Q&A so that you can get that information now so you can start that process now. So how do you get to SBCC? This is a big part of what we do in enrollment services. And so let's just quickly go through these steps. So the first thing that every student or prospective student is going to do is apply to the college. They're going to complete their application. And even if you've applied to another community college, that's okay. You can apply to as many community colleges as you want. The application is totally free. So if you're looking at different schools, there's no problem in applying more to one. The next step is going to be to activate and log into your Pipeline account. Now, our Pipeline account is our student portal, and this is where you're going to really do everything. You get access to a Google Suite. You're assigned a Gmail specific email, and that's where you're going to receive communication from staff, counselors, your instructors, and you're also going to be able to communicate with those people too through that email. This is where you're going to register for your classes. You're going to drop classes if you need to. You're going to accept your financial aid award, buy your parking permit. There's so many different things that students do in the student pipeline portal. So it's really important for you to be able to activate that and get on there. The reason that there's the promise on there is, again, for those students that qualify, they're going to be our local high school students that have graduated from public, private, or homeschool within our district, which is Gaviota to Carpinteria. They will also need to opt into the promise via their pipeline account. And again, we're here if anybody has any questions tonight or later on about any of this. Placement. So the laws changed in California a few years ago. And so we no longer in the community college system require students to assess for English and math. Students answer a few questions based on, typically if you're a high school student, it's usually off of your high school transcripts. And based on those answers, you are placed into English and math courses. So there's not an extra step. You do that all as part of the application. However, mistakes are made. Sometimes, you might have clicked on the wrong thing. Maybe you didn't have your transcripts in front of you, whatnot. We always encourage students to go into their pipeline portal and make sure that their placement is correct. And if it isn't, there are instructions and links there of how to update that, change it, correct it, etc. So you want to make sure that you check that. Student online orientation. So you will do this anywhere, anytime you want. It's done virtually, it's online. It's about 45-minute video with questions, as well as a quiz. You need to pass the quiz in order to get this mandatory step completed and get credit for it. There is a link within your pipeline portal where you can find the online orientation link. And we really recommend that as soon as you apply, get it done. Anytime after you apply, you can get it finished. Okay. The next thing is going to be class planning. And class planning is really important. It also is another mandatory step to enrollment. Class planning is you're going to go to a webinar. So you choose a time and you sign up for a time within your pipeline portal. You go to your pipeline portal, and on the top right-hand corner, there's a icon that says Starfish. You go there, and that'll give you times and dates. You sign up for one that works for you. It's an informational session along with meeting one-on-one with an academic counselor. And that academic counselor is going to work with you based on your educational goals to decide and talk to you and guide you about what classes you want to be registering for in that upcoming term. So again, this is another mandatory step to enrollment. You will not be able to register for classes until those steps are completed. So, and then let's talk about registration. So every student's registration date and time differs a little bit. If you go to sbcc.edu and search for priority registration, it will give you a list. You'll find a list of the different dates. For example, our athletes get to register at a different time than, say, our local high school graduates. So it varies a little bit. We really recommend getting those steps to enrollment completed way before your registration date and time, so that immediately, if June 1st at 8 a.m. is your date, you can go on and register at June 1st, 8 a.m. We do sometimes have students that come to us the week before school starts and they haven't done any of the steps. You can definitely do and all of the steps and get into the college. It is very stressful for a lot of students to make that happen. And then also, you're not really getting to pick your classes. Biggest thing that we really recommend is that we really recommend, even if you haven't made a decision about Santa Barbara City College, because maybe you're waiting on those acceptance letters, those financial aid packages, SBCC does not mind being your plan B. The biggest thing that we recommend, though, if we are potentially a plan B for you, go ahead and complete these steps to enrollment. And even if you go through the process and you register for classes, you can go in before school starts, drop those classes. If you paid anything, you can get a refund through our cashier's office. But at least you have all that set. It reminds me 100%. I tell my son all the time, he always fights with me about taking his jacket places. And I always tell him, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So save yourself some stress and some drama and, just do it early. Get it all done. We're not going to come hunt you down if you don't show up. Okay. It's, You would go in and drop those classes. We're not going to bother you about that. We have students do it all the time. So I would really take advantage of getting those done. So when should you apply for SBCC? So SBCC applications for both fall and summer are now open. We recommend just getting that done. You can then do the online orientation. First time to college registration date. So I was talking about that priority registration for summer. For our local high school promise eligible students, it's going to be the 10th of May. And for our first time to college, it's going to be June 6th. For fall, it's also going to be the same date. So you can actually register for fall and spring at the same time. But remember, you've got to get all those mandatory steps to enrollment completed. One question we get from a lot of students is about housing. Unfortunately, we do not provide on-campus housing. We do not have any dorms or anything that are on our campus. We're a community college. There are some community colleges that do that. Unfortunately, we do not. However, we do have a housing website. You can either use the link that's on the screen right now or utilize the QR code that will provide students with information about dorm style living, apartment buildings, property management companies. Somebody's trying to rent their apartment, a bedroom in their space, maybe a house. They can find all of that information via that website. We actually have a student program advisor who works with students in regards to housing, and we have a lot of resources on there. The biggest thing also is that this is something also you do not want to wait on. I would actually recommend to students to at least start investigating things, looking at, what's available on the website right now, maybe contact a few places, get some initial information. We have students that wait, until July and it becomes very, very hard for them to find a place. So the sooner that you start, if you're moving here from out of the area, the better and easier it's going to be for you. Okay. And take advantage of those resources. So athletics, another thing that we get, lots of questions about. And for anybody interested in playing on one of our teams, and we do have an amazing athletic program, one of the questions we get to ask the most is, are we a division school? And we aren't a division school, but we do participate in the Western State Conference. And for football, we are part of the Southern California Football Association. And this is pretty much just like every other community college. This is very normal. Students that are interested in being a student athlete at SBCC need to complete the recruitment form. You can find that via the QR code that's on the screen right now. Specific for that team that you're interested, goes directly to the coaches, and they'll provide you the information about tryouts and all of that kind of stuff, good stuff. And so basically that will be your first step. Our student athletes also are one of the groups that get to register for classes first on our campus. It's a lot to juggle with practice and games and all that stuff. And so it helps to have that early registration so you can kind of work around that schedule. It's a benefit. They also have their own advisor, their own academic counselors, and they provide them additional support. It's a lot being a college student, and then you're a full-time college student and athlete. It can be a lot of juggling. Students are required to take a minimum of 12 units to be a student athlete and maintain a GPA of at least 2.0 to remain in good standing. And if you haven't been to our campus yet, SBCC is literally across from the ocean, across the street from the ocean. And if you haven't seen our stadium, where our football team, soccer team, track and field, et cetera, all play, it is literally steps away from the beach. And it's a beautiful stadium. It's got a great view. I think some of us might even have backgrounds on our screens to kind of check it out. You can easily find it if you Google images. We're very, very lucky we have such a beautiful campus. So on Friday, we are going to be doing a Zoom drop-in for people that have maybe more in-depth questions. They want to talk to somebody one-on-one. Maybe you think of a question later tonight when we're finished. You do not need to register for this. You can go ahead and just drop into the Zoom. It's this Friday, the 17th. We're going to be there from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Parents, guardians, prospective students, counselors, whoever, doesn't matter, can drop in, ask questions, talk to someone, get that information they need. The link for the Zoom is going to be emailed to everybody And it will also be posted on our landing page. Again, no need to register, just drop in between those hours. And you are not alone. We are all here to support you. This can be an exciting time and an exciting process, but it also can be really confusing and extremely stressful for some people. I literally have worked at the college for almost 20 years, and I still ask questions every day. There's a lot of information. It's a not an easy process, and so there are no dumb questions here, whether it be tonight or Friday or, in an email I get from you 2 weeks from now. Please reach out to us and ask for that support. It can be confusing, and just remember, we're here to help. We're here to answer those questions. And how would you ask those questions beyond tonight or on Friday? So we are available via phone, email, and in person. Monday, Tuesdays from 9 to 4, Wednesdays 9 to 6, and Thursdays again 9 to 4. On Fridays from 9 to 1, we are not available in person, but we are answering our phones and emails. Most emails and messages are returned within 24-hour business hour, within the 24-hour business hours. And we have an amazing group of student workers that work with us, as well as Christy Renteria, who is our student success coordinator, who works with all of our student workers that answer the phones and the emails, all of that stuff. And they're just fantastic. They know so much, and they're really great about getting back to people if you leave a message after hours. The Welcome Center, if you're in person, the Welcome Center is located on the first floor of the Student Services Building. And if you want to email us, you can reach us at the reachtransfer@sbcc.edu email. Okay, so now if Marisol is ready, I am going to stop sharing my screen and let her get her presentation up so she can talk to you all about transfer.
All right. Thank you, Liz. Welcome everybody again to our information night. My name is Marisol. I'm one of the academic counselors here at Santa Barbara City College, and I'm going to be sharing my presentation with you all. And again, we will be having a Q&A at the end, as well as the information session on Friday, so that any questions that it's covered with our presentation or any issues that maybe you forgot to bring up or write down, you definitely can reach out and we're happy to assist you. So again, I work with a team of counselors in the Transfer Academy. We're located on the first floor of the Student Services Building, and all prospective students who have a goal of transferring to a four-year institution, we assist them with the whole planning and application process. And I'm going to tell you in general some information of the benefits of coming to SBCC and transferring to the four-year. So who's considered a transfer student? This is a student who has graduated from high school and has completed at least one term at our school. And so depending on where you're going to transfer, this is an opportunity for you to, again, take advantage of all our services that we have, our additional transfer programs that I'm going to be sharing with you, and be able to get the full college experience that you've had, maybe not in the past, but going towards the future. So these are some options that our students take advantage of while they are attending SBCC. Many of them have a goal of transferring to the UC system, maybe UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, Cal. So there are 10 UCs in California. For the CSUs, there are 23 Cal State universities, and you're able to transfer to those four-year institutions as well. There are 78 private schools in California just alone, but many out-of-state colleges, and basically students can apply to transfer anywhere, depending on the courses, your major, your interests, and future goals that you may have. So definitely, I do want you to know that this is a great opportunity to kind of explore your different options that may not be available to you right out of high school as a freshman to go to the four-year institution. This is another gateway for you to enter your dream college or university. So preparing to transfer, what does that look like? And I'm very visual, and I want to show you guys kind of the pie of what time and what you're going to be doing while you're at SBCC as a student if you have a goal of transferring to a four-year institution. So you're going to complete general education. General education are classes that everybody has to take no matter what their major is. And these courses usually total about 35 to 40 units. And that's making up this yellow section. And depending on your major, maybe you want to do biology, you want to do history, you want to do psychology, communications. You'll be preparing for courses in that major in order to transfer into the four-year institution and have those skills and prerequisite classes that they want you to do prior to going there as a junior for many of the public universities. And you will have the opportunity to explore electives. And electives are classes that are not necessarily required for general education or required for your major. And they are a lot of fun classes that you can take that actually can work towards your degrees and also to transfer to the four-year institution. So the goal for many students at our school is reaching 60 transferable units. This is to be admitted to all the public universities in California. They all want you to complete at least this minimum golden 60 units. You do have to complete a year of college composition, which is our English 110, 111, and one college level math class, which can include a statistics course, maybe a calculus course. Again, math is going to be determined by your major and your transfer institution. And as counselors, we assist you with the planning of that. So what can you do while you're here to benefit you to transfer to the four-year institution? Well, like I said, you're going to do your general education. You are going to complete your lower division major preparation courses for that major to go into. And the benefit of going is you're taking the same classes your first 2 years at SBCC as you would at the four-year institution, but you get to do it at a cheaper price and transfer as a junior into that bachelor's degree program. And you only will spend usually 2 more years to complete that degree. And so at the end of the day, your diploma says you're a UCSB or UCLA grad or Cal Poly SLO, but it doesn't say that you went to the community college first. So even for those of you that plan on going to graduate school, because maybe you want to become a doctor, you want to become a lawyer, where it requires professional school, many students strategize and use the community college as one of those doors to save money, get that one-on-one instruction like Liz had talked about in our smaller classes that we offer. And it doesn't have a time limit on how it will take you to get there. So usually on average will take about 15 units every fall and spring semester without summers if they want to transfer in 2 years. But this can be longer. Some of you may be working full time, and you maybe have a family to take care of and other outside responsibilities. So the universities don't care about how long it takes you to complete your general education and your major requirements. They really care about your grades. So the better that you can do in your classes as you're starting a fresh transcript at SBCC, nothing in high school is going to follow you. So this is your opportunity to really excel and look at classes that you really enjoy doing and actually go to the universities that maybe were not available to you based on cost or maybe the competition at the freshman level. So this is the bigger picture again, just to kind of recap some of the information. So you're going to be spending half of your time at SBCC doing your lower division general education classes, your major preparation for a minimum of 60 units. And then you're going to transfer to the four-year institution and complete your upper division classes that's related to your major and additional electives to reach. And usually most programs require a minimum additional 60 upper division units if they're on a semester system, or another 90 quarter if you're going on to a university that has on a quarter system. So it's usually another 2 years. So 4 years altogether. So going to community college doesn't have to be a longer route for you. It's just a different path. And so again, on average, most degrees total about 120 units. And so what is required to transfer? Well, there's minimum requirements for admission to get into these universities. And then you also want to complete the additional selection criteria. So these are having a more competitive GPA. So they might say, yes, we'll admit at a 2.0 GPA. But if you're reaching for really competitive schools, maybe in the UC system, the CSU or privates, we want you to get those A's and keep that good GPA so that you have all options available to you and you just can decide, where do I want to go? Where am I going to feel that I'm going to excel the most in my major and get the best education I feel that I can obtain on, different factors that are available. And so again, as counselors, we help you plan this so you can have a roadmap so that you are taking the right classes. You know that we're planning, but you are going to have to do the work to get there. And all of you have the potential to do so because we have lots of services, lots of support for you. And it's just a matter of reaching out, and we're here to help you. So I'm going to kind of explain for many of you, because you're interested, for many students who applied to SBCC over the 17 years I've been here. Many of them are considering transferring to a UC. So how do you do that? Well, the UCs require, again, the 60 minimum units and require a 2.4 transferable GPA to be considered for admission as a transfer student. Now, many of you know that the UCs take the top 12% in the nation when they're looking at freshman admission. So sometimes 4.5 GPAs are turned away as freshmen, but doesn't mean you can't go to the UC system. You can come to SBCC and actually transfer, because I'm going to show you what you would need to do in order to make that happen. So the UCs do require a minimum of 7 general education courses, which include 2 college level English courses, which address composition, critical thinking, 1 college level math, and 4 other courses from arts, humanities, social behavioral sciences, and physical and biological sciences. Then, to be competitive, we want you to actually complete what is known as the IGETC, which is your whole general education requirements, which is the 35 to 40 units I was talking about versus this minimum here on the left. And complete your major preparation courses. So again, if you're a psychology major, you'll be taking all the psychology, maybe the science classes, some of the calculus or statistics courses that are required for that school. and receiving good grades in those classes, so that, again, if you're looking at maybe UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC San Diego, who are some of the top schools that are, making competition really hard because of the number of applicants that they have, they usually want transfer students to get around a 3.2 to be considered competitive. This is almost like a B average, A's and B's. You guys can do this. So what might have not been available to you as a freshman, this is definitely doable at SBCC. Now, for the CSU system, this is the California State University system. There are 23 CSUs in California, and they have similar requirements, but there are some differences, and I'm going to go over those as well. For the CSUs, again, similar to the UC, you must have 60 semester units for admission. They have a little bit lower of a GPA of a 2.0. Again, that's minimum eligibility for them to see average to get in. They want you to complete the Golden Four, which are basically your 2 English courses similar to UC, 1 college level math, and 1 oral communications class. So this is a public speaking course that they feel very essential for all students to have to be successful, not just in their majors and in college, but in careers. Being competitive, again, completing your general education IGETC and getting all those classes out of the way. They also have a CSU general education pattern, which just gives students a little bit of flexibility on the types of general ed courses that they provide. It's about 39 units, so it's not any more necessarily less than the IGETC. So many of our students follow IGETC to keep multiple doors open for them. And again, completion of your major preparation courses. So again, if you're an engineering major, you're going to take your engineering courses, your physics, your mathematics courses, and maybe some computer science to help you be more competitive and to make sure that you transfer into junior level standing at the university. And again, we want you to be doing well in your courses so that you can get into some of the top CSUs like Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, CSU Long Beach, San Diego State, and there are many options for many of you. As I said, there are 23 CSUs. And the CSU system does have an associate degree for transfer in approximately 27 majors, and I'll show you that on the slide. But many students who complete this associate degree with a transfer emphasis do get a little bit of a boost in their admission to the four-year institution as well, which is not available to freshman students and only available to California community college students. And so this is a definite another advantage for you that many of you can take advantage of. And some schools do require a supplemental application. Cal Poly SLO is one of them. And depending on the major, that also can vary by campus as well. And like I said, we have 78 private schools in California. And then again, you can transfer to any of the 50 other state schools in our nation. They do require different requirements. Some have similar requirements. Some allow you to transfer maybe after 1 year at SBCC with maybe 30 units completed. This is a really great website that you can visit. It's our aiccu.org website. It does list all the California independent accredited colleges and universities that you can take advantage of. We do have students transferring, to Arizona State University, Cal Lutheran, Azusa Pacific, Pepperdine. So definitely, it is where you feel like you want to be. We are, sending students out of state to University of Miami, NYU, Harvard. So there are options for many of you, depending again on how well you do at SBCC and the requirements to go to that four-year institution. So again, IGETC is a general education form. It's an acronym. It stands for Intersegmental General Education Transfer Curriculum. It allows you to meet the general ed requirements for all the public universities in California, all UC and CSUs. Many private and out-of-state schools also recognize the IGETC form, and this is why it's the most popularly general education pattern to follow. However, you could do the minimum eligibility requirements, and we would advise you through our counseling sessions on what is going to be the best path for you. And we do have access to these forms that you can review all of your course choices on the links that will be shared again in the PowerPoint presentation tonight, and also through our University Transfer Academy website. And we color code a lot of our forms here at SBCC. So everyone at City College, when you come in to see a counselor, the pink sheet is known as the IGETC, the yellow one is the CSU General Ed. However, we know what you're talking about. Sometimes we don't, some students are like, what are my general education classes? I don't know what that form is called. So this is why it is important that you do meet with us at least once a semester, because we're going to go over each of these areas that you must complete in order to satisfy the requirements for each section. So we don't want you to waste your time, your money, your unnecessary effort. We want to make sure that you're planning accordingly. And this is why we have students that come to us free of charge to help you with all of your academic planning. So you don't have to figure it out on your own. And this website is available in a public website to all students, but as counselors, we use it every day. It's called assist.org. It allows us to look up your major preparation to transfer to all the UC and the CSU campuses in California. So Santa Barbara City College sat down with all of the universities in the public system in California and said, what classes do you want our students to take? And we have a list of courses, and we go over this with you in a session, and you can also visit it and kind of check out which schools have every major. A lot of students assume, I'm going to go to this university and I have to have a discussion with them that school doesn't have that major. And they say, what do you mean? I thought all universities have every major, and that's not the case. They might have related areas of study, or sometimes students will change their majors. Just like Liz said, I was going to go into psychiatry and ended up doing psychology. In addition with a lot of other classes that I felt, were really beneficial to me as well in my study. So this is your opportunity to kind of explore maybe future schools and ensure that they do have your potential prospective major in mind. And once you decide on what that school and that major is, you actually get to, on the glitches right there. I selected economics because that's one of our really popular majors at SBCC to go to UCSB. And we fill in the little bubble because it has all alphabetically every university's for the public systems classes that they need. You can view the agreement of the classes that you need to take. And what that would look like, I know it's small writing, but it has a lot of information about the major that you're going into. It gives you resources to the university website. It talks about the selection criteria within the major. Do you need a specific GPA in order to get into that major? And for UCSB, for this econ major, they are selective in that in the two classes you have to take in your Econ 101, micro and macroeconomics, plus a calculus course series, they do have to earn a 275 in those classes. So if you got all C's in those three courses, you would not be admitted to the major. So this is really critical information that you need to know sooner than later, and you can already start exploring now. It also has information about AP. So if any of you are taking advanced placement and you take the exams to earn college credit, it will also tell you if it would satisfy your major requirements because there's various AP exams that you can take, and we encourage you to take those because you can always get ahead in your units by the hard work that you did through those AP classes. So again, assist.org is a really good tool that all of you can start using even today. It does not have any of the private school information on there, unfortunately, but doesn't mean you can't get to it. That's what our counseling faculty do at SBCC. And I work for the University Transfer Academy. So we specialize in the transfer admission guarantees, which many of you are very interested. You're like, how can I be guaranteed to go to a four-year institution? Well, by joining our program, you definitely get the one-on-one counseling assistance to ensure that you're taking all the right academic classes to prepare you for that university. We give you all the important updated information because we attend conferences. We just took a bunch of students to UCLA's Stomp conference on March 11th, Saturday, for the whole day. And they got to talk to different departments, see different students, get a tour, have lunch, and get that university experience. I always tell students, you really want to explore the different universities and see where your niche is and where you feel comfortable and great at. We've taken students also out of state because we do have different agreements, not just in California, with other private and out-of-state universities as well. We also have counselor of the day and university workshops. So we invite university reps to come and meet with you at SBCC in person, even online, over the phone, so that you don't have to actually go to that university. You can get all that information through our University Transfer Academy. And we are located on the first floor of the Student Services building, next to our Welcome Center where enrollment services is, and next to the Counseling and Admissions and Records office. So again, we definitely would love for you to come by, check out our website. We have our transfer agreement guarantees listed. These are other schools that we do have partnerships with as well. So again, not just within California can you transfer, you can transfer out of state and be guaranteed. And again, what is minimum eligibility? Well, I'm going to tell you what each campus is going to require for TAG, because it's not going to be the same for each institution. So for the UC system, basically UC Davis, if you have a 3.2, you're guaranteed admission. For UC Irvine, it's a 3.4. UC Merced is a 2.8 GPA. UC Riverside, 2.8. UC Santa Cruz, a 3.0. And UC Santa Barbara is a 3.4. So you can tag to one UC campus free of charge. And many of you are like, where's UCLA? Where's UC Berkeley? Where's UC San Diego? They do not guarantee admission to anybody from anywhere, from any California community college or from any out-of-state or private school. They do a holistic review of every applicant. However, doing well and getting good grades mean being competitive will allow you to transfer to UCLA, Berkeley, and UC San Diego, and you're not obligated to go to your TAG institution. This is just a backup plan, possibly for some of you, and some of you, this is your priority. Some students come to our school and like, I love Santa Barbara. I've never been to seeing the ocean. I want to go to UCSB after SBCC. And they're like, I just need a 3.4 to do it. And I'm like, yes. And so again, as counselors, we want to share with you all the opportunities that are available. And again, this is just for the UC system. And again, taking advantage of our honors program can give you a leg up, at least for UC Irvine and UCLA, as if you were denied your first choice major, they will look at your alternate choice major for consideration. So definitely the better you do, the more options you're going to have. Now the CSUs have a guarantee as well. All 23 CSUs have the associate degree for transfer, and this is known as an ADT. And basically it gives you a 1% boost in your admission criteria to the CSU system, but it doesn't guarantee you to the CSU of your choice. Your grades and your major preparation and your general education completion will be the biggest factor in your admission. So students who attend SBCC and do not meet maybe the high GPA requirements that maybe Cal Poly SLO wants, would be redirected to CSU Channel Islands as a guarantee if they earned an associate degree for transfer, or to CSU Northridge. So again, the better that you do in your courses, the better off you're going to be in your choices for transfer. Right now, SBCC offers 27 associate degrees for transfers in the following majors. And you can see it's a variety of choices. Just because it's not listed on here does not mean that you don't have an edge. This Santa Barbara City College has worked with the CSU system and the chancellor's office to ensure that we have all the templates that are available to all students currently that the CSU system has developed for the associate degrees for transfer. So you can take advantage of this. Even if you're going to a UC, you can earn this on the way and have this additional associate degree with a transfer emphasis on your resume, which is also great to do. And with counseling, we try to help you guys do that on the way anyways with strategic planning. So again, you don't have to earn an ADT for the CSUs to be admitted. It's just, again, one of the guarantees that they are offering to California community college students. And just some important tips and reminders. We want you to meet with us at least once every term. We will offer Zoom, we offer in person, we offer phone. We want to have access for everyone that needs assistance, no matter what modality you're taking our classes at SBCC in. We want to know where you need to look for resources, know what classes are transferable to not just UC, CSU, but maybe to the private and the out-of-state schools. We're going to work with you. We're going to strategize. Maybe you're not doing so well in some of your general education classes, but they're not classes in your major. We're going to have you submit a pass no pass form so that as long as you earned a C or better, you get the credits, you get to earn it for your general ed, but it doesn't mess up your GPA. And the UCs allow up to 14 units of pass no pass. So 46 are graded units that you have to earn. And again, don't settle for C's, because C's are a passing grade and you can't retake a C. So we want those A's and B's. Yes, if you unfortunately get D or an F, guess what? You get to repeat it and they're going to use your higher grade. So again, you're starting a fresh transcript at SBCC. So you want to make sure that you're doing the best that you can in your courses that you're selecting each term. And as counselors, we want to help balance those schedules out for you based on what else you're having to do in your life. And these are additional tools and resources that you can actually explore and look at the information. We have the UC CSU website. We also have College Board, where the SAT, ACT, AP information is. And College Source has a nationwide database that you can access. And this, again, is going to be available to all of you on our enrollment services page. And also, we're going to continue working with you as a student when you come to SBCC so that you are very clear in the path and the roadmap that you're going to be taking while you're here with us. And so again, I am proud of all of you that took your time out today to come to our presentation and to listen to this information. I know it was a lot, but we're going to help you on your journey. And I'm going to turn it over to Liz now. And I look forward to seeing y'all soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Marisol. That was fantastic. So we want to, take your questions so that we can answer, those questions live. You can click on the Q&A at the bottom of your Zoom screen and just type in your question. Marisol, one question that we did get in the Q&A while you were presenting was, where would I find out about classes if I wanted to transfer to an out-of-state school? The example was Montana. Where would I find out about classes that would transfer to that school at SBCC?
So we do have a university representative list of contacts who we can reach out to. So if you go to our University Transfer Center page, we do have a list of all our articulation agreements that we do have with all of the out-of-state universities. And sometimes also within Montana State, we have possibly had students matriculate, meaning transfer to their four-year institution, and we would reach out to them to see their curriculum requirements and make sure that the courses that you're taking at SBCC would be accepted by Montana prior to you enrolling in them, to ensure that you're covering all your bases and we don't want you just to plan for that school. We want you to plan for multiple campuses, because you never want to put all your eggs in one basket. But we would definitely help you outreach to that university, and we also work collaboratively with their transfer counselors, transfer advisors, or undergraduate staff.
Fantastic. Another question we have is, how would a student or prospective student meet with a counselor? How would they do that?
Well, once they join, if they join the University Transfer Academy, we have a team of counselors, Angela Warren, Julio Martinez, Renato Marquez, and Dr. Cami Vignon. All of us are available to assist you via online appointment system. We have Starfish, which is inside your SBCC portal, and you would actually be able to schedule an appointment either in person, online, or over Google Chat. We also have phone. So we want to make sure that whatever modality you're studying at SBCC, whether you're taking in person, online classes, you're getting the counseling support that you have available Monday through Friday. Some of us also work in the evening and on weekends. So we know that, not everybody has a 8 to 5 Monday through Friday schedule. So sometimes we also have 15-minute questions for counselor of the day that we have every day for certain times that you can pop into a Zoom room and answer your questions. So there's different modalities that you can reach out to us. So phone, email, website, and also once you join our program, you have the ability to make those appointments yourself through Pipeline.
And just to clarify, Marisol, so students would do the application and then they could apply to be part of the university transfer program.
That's correct.
Or they could also meet with a counselor in their step to enrollment class planning, where they're going to meet one-on-one. So there's a couple options for our new students coming in.
Yeah, so all new students to SBCC do have to go through class planning, which was what Liz covered in the steps to enrollment before you register for your actual classes. And I do actually present weekly doing those first group freshman orientations, kind of similar to getting you familiar and setting up your current fall schedule if you're going to be joining us in the fall or spring semester or summer. So we make a plan for you in the general counseling, and then we encourage all of you that have a goal of transfer to join our Transfer Academy, so that you can get that transfer expertise knowledge outside the general counseling, where we have to serve all students in that area. And in the Transfer Academy, you can be assigned to one of us 5 colleagues that will assist you in all of your transfer questions throughout the entire time at SBCC.
Fantastic. One question that is not counseling, but please chime in. Marisol knows a lot. that came in was asking, you know, if I'm planning to start in the fall as a new student, already applied for financial aid, when would I want to apply for classes if I haven't received my financial aid yet? So typically with financial aid, if they will start actually awarding and packaging students shortly. They usually start March, beginning of April. If you want more information about, you know, if that process has been complete, you can always reach out to our financial aid office and I can provide you with that link if you want to put that, ask for that in the Q&A. I'd be happy to do that. And so basically you'll know what your financial aid award is way before the fall semester begins. And the process to go through is you'd apply to the college, you'd then complete your online orientation, which you can do, you know, as soon as usually students are able to do it within 24 hours of applying. Then you will attend a class planning session where the counselor will talk to you about what classes you will want to register for the fall. And then our new to college students can start registering for classes as early as June 6th. So if you've applied for financial aid and it's complete, you should know your award way before you're going to actually register for those classes in June. But if you have questions or you want to see, make sure, you know, they got your financial aid paperwork. Is there anything else they need? Get a time frame is when you'll get that award. I would really recommend that you reach out directly to the financial aid office, and I'm happy to provide that link for you. Let's
And I
see.
just wanted to add,
Yeah.
new students have 7 days to pay to register, but if you applied for financial aid, or maybe you're waiting for the money to come in and you don't have a credit card, because not all of you at 18 have a credit card yet. Sometimes your parents or guardians or family or friends will pay, and then when your financial aid does come through, you have the money to pay them back. And Santa Barbara does offer payment arrangements that they'll work with students to make sure that they are not dropped from their courses after 7 days of registering due to economic hardship. So that's also available through the financial aid office. You can set up payment arrangements.
See, I knew you would have something very important to share with us, Marisol. And just before I go on to the next couple questions that are coming in, you know, I mentioned our stadium where football, soccer, track and field, etc. plays. So that's that picture, and you can see all the palm trees and the ocean. That is our stadium. It's beautiful right there behind Marisol. So somebody had I love it when people ask great questions. So this is a great question. So somebody has, you know, already started the process. And they're trying to sign up for their class planning session, and they're saying, you know what, it's not available. And you're right. We just found out recently that those sessions will be open and available to sign up for beginning the first week in April. So what I would recommend is that students just go ahead and check back the first weekend of April. And again, you have our contact information. If you run into any hiccups, you're not exactly sure how to do that, please let us know. But that was a great question, because we talk about all these mandatory steps to enrollment, but you can't sign up for the class planning sessions for fall. They haven't opened yet.
Liz,
yes, Christy. No, go ahead.
I just answered that in the chat. So students can sign up for in Starfish for class planning for fall 2023, starting on April 24th. And then the fall class planning sessions will begin May 8th. Now it's a little bit different for summer. So if they're interested in taking summer classes, the first class planning session is April 10th. And then students can sign up in Starfish starting April 3rd.
Christy, that's fantastic. So this is why it takes a village, because I didn't have that that updated information, because we were told something different a couple weeks ago. So I really appreciate you chiming in and letting me know about that. Want to make sure you guys get the right information about everything. Another great question. So for those students that are eligible, those local high school students that graduate from a public, private, or homeschool within our district between Gaviota and Carpinteria, remember they are eligible for our SBCC Promise program. And the question is, does it cover CTE programs like hospitality? So our hospitality and culinary arts program can be pretty expensive to start. You need to buy certain shoes, and you have to have a uniform. And what's really expensive is the knife set. And the answer is yes, they will cover that. That is considered necessary supplies that you are required in your syllabus in our culinary arts and hospitality program to have. And students in that program typically have to have those the very first semester, first classes that they begin. And yes, the SBCC Promise will cover those costs, and you do that through our bookstore. They have all of the things that you need there. Another question we get too is cosmetology kits that you have to have day one. They run, between the kits and the books and everything, it can be over $1,200. And so again, yes, that is something that's mandatory for you to have. The SBCC Promise covers those things. Okay. Any other questions that anybody has? Now is the time to ask them in the Q&A. Yes, I can. That's a good, now see, I love this. So somebody's asking, because this is very confusing. Can we please explain the difference between the CCPG and the SBCC Promise program? So the SBCC Promise program is a program that is funded through the SBCC Foundation, so through private donations and funding through our foundation, and is a program specific to SBCC. A lot of community colleges within the state of California and some out of the state of California have moved toward this idea of having what we call promise programs, that we're making that promise to our local students in our districts that they will be able to go to college. Every promise program looks a little bit different. Some community colleges pay for 2 years of tuition, some pay for 1 year. We have we're very, very fortunate. We have one of the most comprehensive promise programs in the nation. Most programs do not also pay for books and supplies for their programs. It's typically just tuition. So that is something at the community college level, and specifically to SBCC, that is privately funded through our foundation. The CCPG is a program, and we were here first. People were calling our programs the Promise first. And then the state of California decided to call what used to be called the Board of Governors fee waiver the CCPG, which also obviously has the word promise in it. If you have already completed a FAFSA or DREAM Act, that actually encompasses the CCPG as well. And basically what the CCPG is, it's a fee waiver. It's a very quick form. It's funded through the state of California, and the students that qualify will do not have to pay the $46 a unit for tuition. It's waived. And so again, FAFSA DREAM Act, you've already done it. It's a twofer. If you haven't done the FAFSA or DREAM Act, you can do the CCPG separately, and that is open to anyone that is eligible to apply for financial aid. So you don't need to be somebody that's local. You can be, you do need to be an in-state, considered in the state of California resident. So it's not open to students that are considered out-of-state or international students. But any student, say you're coming, Michaela, our student worker that's helping us tonight, for instance, she is originally from the Bay Area. And so, but she is able, because she's a California state resident, to take advantage of the CCPG. It's a pretty quick form. You answer a few questions and they let you know at financial aid if you're eligible or not. Hopefully I answered that question without confusing anyone, but if not, please, let me know if you have any follow-ups.
I would just like to add, if there's any students who are undocumented, you maybe have heard of AB 540. You're not eligible for federal FAFSA financial aid, but the state of California does award AB 540 students state financial aid through California. And so as long as you attended a California high school for 3 years and graduated, they will give you state financial aid. And SBCC has a Dream Center and helps AB 540 students and undocumented students see additional resources to help pay and answer questions that maybe you don't know where to go, but it's all free of charge, and we can refer you to the right people And as counselors, we all are AB 540 friendly, and we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to go to college despite their immigration status.
And I just want to piggyback on that everybody in the enrollment services department, anybody that you're going to work with, we're very much AB 540 positive, however you want to say it. We are all really passionate about just supporting our students and trying to help you the best that we can to be successful, and truly believe in, getting an education. So we do have a few more minutes for more questions. Now would be the time to ask. One last time, I just want to say, if you don't remember anything from the presentation but need to contact us, the easiest thing to remember is our email. So you can reach out to our enrollment services department at reachtransfer@sbcc.edu. Again, we get back within 24 business hours. And you can ask us any questions there. Sometimes we don't know the answer, but we are more than willing and happy to make sure that we provide you with the correct information, whether that means we need to reach out to Marisol or the financial aid department, for example. We do this all the time. And so, if that's the one thing that you can write down or remember right now, you can definitely utilize that email address for questions or support in the future. And a reminder that this is being recorded. We will be emailing it to everybody that was here tonight. A link, hoping to do that in the next 5 to 7 business days. And that it will also be on our website. It will go on our landing page for Reach, our Reach program under enrollment services. You can find it there. So I'm going to give it about 1 more minute. This is last call for any more questions. Just give it a little bit. Oh, here we go. So it's another great question. What's the next best step for someone who doesn't know much about college in general to do beside, attending this Zoom? I think that's a great question. There's lots of different things that you can do. You can definitely reach out to us directly at the enrollment services department. We answer questions over the phone, via email, but we also will set up Zoom, one-on-one Zoom sessions with students. So we make appointments and can do that either over the phone or on Zoom, whatever the student or prospective student prefers. We can also, answer a lot of general questions and then provide you resources and other opportunities to get information beyond that. It is a big part of our job is educating students and prospective students on what the process is, to answer those general questions about how the process works, what services and support is available to them. So I think that would probably be a great step. You also can come and join us on our Zoom session that we're doing specifically for everybody that attended tonight, where you can, and that's going to be on Friday the 17th from 9 to 12. That Zoom link is going to be sent out as well. You don't need to register for that. You just pop in between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and ask those questions, and we can put you in with somebody in a breakout room and, go from there. I think that's a great place to start because everybody kind of tends to have a very specific scenario, whether you want to get, say you want to you're a nursing major, that's a whole bunch of different information that I'm going to give somebody who maybe is a STEM major or somebody who wants to do a certificate program or they have a school they specifically want to transfer to, etc. So I think that's a great place to start, and we can go from there and get you everything that you need. So another question, it looks like it's from a parent that their daughter was just admitted to CC, congratulations, and just got housing. That's even a bigger congratulations. Housing can be an issue sometimes. Is City College really free for all California high school students or only if in the Santa Barbara area? So that is a little bit of a tricky question, but I can answer it. And if I confuse you, please type more questions in the Q&A box if I need to clarify anything. So For students that are graduating from high school in our district, we call them our local high school students. So those are students that are graduating from high school, whether it be private school, a public high school, or homeschool. That district is between Gaviota and Carpinteria. They are guaranteed through our foundation to not have to pay anything, tuition, fees, books, supplies for 2 years, for the first 2 years. There are some caveats, like most students need to be in at least 12 units, and you need to meet with your academic counselor once a semester and things like that. But it definitely is worth getting those 2 years paid for. But it is only for what we consider our local high school graduates that graduate within that district between Gaviota and Carpinteria. However, students can, okay, so they're from Northern California. So what students can do is, what I would really recommend, if you haven't done the FAFSA, to go ahead and do that. So many more students than realize actually through the FAFSA qualify for that CCPG, which is that fee waiver through the FAFSA, because the FAFSA is a much more in-depth calculation and takes a lot more things into consideration when calculating eligibility for that fee waiver with the state of California. So since you're in state, I would recommend that probably give it a couple weeks, reach out to your financial aid advisor or just directly to the financial aid department. And if you need that contact information, just put that in the Q&A and I'll cut and paste and give you a link. Excuse me. They are in the process of starting to award students. So even if you have done the FAFSA and we've received it, they might actually not have started to process it yet. But I know that they just told us last week that they are starting to look at the beginning of April to get that going. So it will be sooner versus later that you would know. In that case, if a student through the FAFSA did qualify for that CCPG, and again, they just need to be in the state of California resident, then that would mean that $46 a unit would be waived for the entire academic year. Because remember, you have to redo your financial aid every year. Students would still need to pay the fees, which is about $65 each semester, but that would be it. You'd save probably well over $600 in tuition. So hopefully I answered that in a clear way. If not, I am more than happy to take any more questions, provide clarification. You can also reach out to me directly, Liz Stein, at the reachtransfer@sbcc.edu email. I'm happy to get you any more information that you need. Yeah, so the parent saying she's done all that, and yeah, it's basically just a wait and see right now. And we can get you that Chrissy, if you wouldn't mind putting in the link to the financial aid department so they can reach out in a couple weeks via the virtual help desk or call or email, etc. That would be great so that you guys can check on that. And the other question is, can she reach out to a counselor for help with degree and post for transfer in 2 years? I'm gonna let you answer that, Marisol. So I think what they're asking is, could the student work with a counselor to make sure that they get their degree and transfer within 2 years? I'm assuming that that's what they're asking.
So every semester, what we're doing with students is we make a student education plan. It's known as an SEP. And especially when you're working with financial aid, they also want you to be meeting with a counselor because they want to make sure that the classes they're paying for are working towards your educational goal, whether it's the certificate, the associate degree, or the transfer, or all three. And so we'll map out the classes electronically in your schedule in Starfish, which is in your pipeline account once you're a student. And you'll be able to see, yes, if I'm taking 15 units every fall and spring and I don't want to go to summer and I want to finish in 2 years, because you need to have 60 units minimum for an associate degree to graduate. If you're looking at the UC and CSU, you need 60 transferable units, where a certificate program, you could, like early childhood education, you can take 12 units and you can have the minimum requirements to work at a preschool. So it's important that, you know, maybe there's immediate goals that you're working towards, but in the end, investing in your longer term for your future and your education, your golden key to making it in California. You know, most people graduate high school, but if you can get an associate degree and then get a bachelor's, if not higher, that is going to open the door to opportunities that are not available to just the person that just goes straight into the workforce. Minimum making minimum wage, you're it's going to be a hardship for you. And then we have so many students coming back to college because they're being let go from their jobs because the college graduates have skills and training that you can't learn in the real world. You can only learn through the university and the college. And the transfer is going to help you pave that way. And you can change your goals, have multiple goals. We're going to help you as counselors find your niche. I always say, do what you love, the money's going to come. And a lot of students are like worried to take loans, be in debt. I'm like, if you don't go to college, you'll see how hard it is. Ask your parents, ask your guardians how much they're paying for, you know, rent. You guys go to the store and you see why is everything going up in price? Well, that college diploma is for life that you're going to get. So if that's motivation for you to stick with it for a couple years, you got to work to your 65. So get that advantage if you can.
So true. I talk to students all the time, and people always kind of tease about like art majors, oh, what are they going to do? And I'm like, if you really, there's so many things that you can do, right? To be able to have a career in that field, and do art as well. There's just so many different opportunities out there. I totally agree. Really quick, I do want to mention that the University Transfer Center, which is where Marisol is a counselor from, will meet with prospective students. Students can reach out to them to set up a virtual appointment by emailing them at Transfer Academy. So that's Transfer Academy at sbcc.edu. And that is fantastic because they are one of the few groups of academic counselors on campus that will meet with prospective students. So if you have questions, take advantage of that opportunity. That's a great opportunity. We had one other question that came in about, I've applied. How do I get onto my pipeline? How do I start the pipeline portal? So for students that have applied, they've waited at least 24 hours. What they want to do is go to the sbcc.edu website. On the left-hand side, you're going to see a big P with the word pipeline under. You're going to click it, and a screen's going to come up, and there's going to be a choice, find account. You're going to find your account there. It'll have you answer, choose and then provide an answer for secret question if you ever need to, find it again, and it'll have you create a password, and it will tell you what your username is. We provide the username. You don't come up with that. That'll be given to you through the portal. You do need to wait about 5 minutes once you create that password. It takes about 5 minutes for the system to kind of suck that up into itself and be current. And then you go to the login screen and you log in from there. Again, sometimes people can have all kinds of glitches with getting into our portal for a lot of different reasons. So please, I will again say, reach out to us either by phone or email us at the reachtransfer@sbcc.edu so we can support you with that. That's something that doesn't always happen, but it does happen. And like I said, there's a lot of different reasons that can happen. And so we can help you troubleshoot that. Definitely. We're very familiar with that. And yeah, okay. So specifically for this student, it's saying no record found, which that can happen sometimes. And it does sound like you're doing exactly what you're doing. Christy's going to respond to you and we're going to help you figure out what's going on. So I'm really glad that you came this evening. Okay, any other questions? Last call for more questions. Oh, thank you, Marisol, for putting in. So Marisol just put in the landing page for the Transfer Academy into the chat on Zoom. And you can, access getting a virtual appointment through there, their email, their contact information. So great question. So can I sign up for the SBCC Promise? Can I opt into that as a local high school student and also sign up for the Transfer Academy, or are they separate? So they are two separate things. However, you can basically, that group of student support service programs that I talked about earlier, you can sign up and be part of as many as you want. There is no cap. Very few of our support programs have eligibility requirements. There are a handful, but majority of them, like the University Transfer Center, okay, I'm a transfer student, so I'm going to go and talk to them and be part of this program. So I make sure that I'm doing everything that I need, find out, what schools have my major, trying to look, think about where you want to go, all of that kind of stuff. Definitely can be part of as many programs as you want, for sure. We really recommend that all students that are looking at transfer, even if you're not 100% decided, or you may not know, exactly where you want to transfer to, that's what we're here for, is to help you navigate that and answer those questions. I don't know, Marisol, if you have anything else.
Yeah, like I said, we have students coming in. There's nothing K through 12 that really allowed you to kind of explore your personal talents, your interests. I mean, kind of after kindergarten, it's like you don't really say, what are you going to be when you grow up? And it's like you come into the college and they're like, indicate a major and start, what are you going to do? And it's like, I don't know yet. But the general education classes are going to give you an opportunity to kind of explore that. We also teach some personal development courses. One of them that's really popular is our college success class. And it talks about major exploration, transfer. You take health and wellness. There's dating and relationships, test taking strategies. There's lots of information. Half are taught by counselors, and they really benefit from the information. And again, being part of these different programs are all going to give you guys different resources that are going to help you navigate all these uncharted territories that you're going to explore. We wish we could go to all your doors and knock and make sure everything's okay. But we want to make sure that, our doors are open to all these centers and all these programs that you could take advantage of that are all free to you. And so if you don't know where to go, again, I invite you to, come to the transfer center, be part of our program, because we're going to help you no matter what your questions are. Counselors are advocates. Yeah, I went into the counseling field to advocate for and be there for you guys, to make sure that maybe you're like, I don't know what I'm missing. What don't I know? And I'm sharing information all the time with students. I think you should look into this. I think you need to go over to this office. And they're like, I didn't even know they had that here. And so we kind of are the experts in our fields, and we're here to share that knowledge with you guys. So I hope you do take advantage of it.
Yes, please. It's job security, right? That's why we're here. That's what we're supposed to be doing. One question, when does class registration begin? So for new to college students, priority registration date for them will be June 6th for fall. And keep in mind that you do need to have all of your mandatory steps to enrollment. So you need to apply, you need to be able to log onto your pipeline student portal, complete the online orientation, and then class planning before you're able to register. So it could be June 6th. And if you don't have the one of those steps completed, you will not be allowed to register. So it's very important to make sure you get all of that done before that date and as soon as possible. I love great questions. Things you don't think of. So somebody asked, can Cal Grant Aid or financial aid, can it be put towards housing? And the answer is yes. So financial aid money that you receive, is money that is going to be handed over to you, and it is eligible. Basically, I kind of visualize it like an umbrella of education related things that you can pay for. So it can be used for housing, it can be for food, it can be for transportation, it could be for technology. Maybe you need, a computer. All of those things are eligible to utilize your funds that you get through financial aid on, because that's all part of being a student, right? Somebody asked, can you meet with a counselor prior to June 6th? So yes, you will do a class planning session, and you can do that well before June 6th. It's an informational webinar, and then you'll meet one-on-one with a counselor to talk about what classes you should register for fall. So they'll have you all prepared. You do that, you sign up for that class planning session via Pipeline. So you go to your Pipeline, your student portal. On the main screen, you're going to go to the top right-hand corner. You're going to see a starfish and it says starfish, and it's a starfish icon. You're going to click on that, and that will take you into our appointment portal where you can make, you can sign up for one of the upcoming class planning sessions, and they are all done via webinar. So if you're from out of the area or your schedule is tight, you can do that basically from anywhere. You just need to make sure you choose a time that's going to work for your schedule. The other option, if you had more questions, is you can actually meet with the University Transfer counselors with the University Transfer Center. We've put the website and the email into the chat and Zoom. And so you can reach out to them and meet with them as well before you actually are at SBCC.
And I just wanted to add, if any of you are graduating early or want to just start taking maybe one class, you can start in summer, and we'll help plan summer and fall. And you would be a continuing student, which may help you a little bit in your registration time. So kind of getting your feet wet so that you're not so worried about fall might be a good opportunity for you. If you're going to be graduating early, some of you guys might be starting to take classes, and definitely we're going to have a 10-week session, but within the 10 weeks, some departments might offer shorter time frames for their classes. So, definitely take a look at it. So if you did apply for fall, you can go back in and say, I think I want to start in summer, and take advantage of that.
Okay, so everybody, we have about 1 minute. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. We really appreciate all of you guys taking the time to be here, giving us your time, your attention, your energy. We've got some great questions, and hopefully we've provided some great information and answered some of those questions within our presentations. Again, I just want to reiterate, please reach out to us if you have questions, whether it be tomorrow or a month from now. It really doesn't matter. We're here to support you. Reaching out to us often is easier, to kind of let us work with you to navigate the any hiccups that you're having, etc., than waiting and trying to figure it out yourself. Please let us help you. It does make things a lot less stressful for you, and often we can fix the situation or support you in fixing the situation a lot quicker than you might be able to do it on your own. So we really would like you to reach out to us if you need anything. And just a reminder, 2 things: we'll be having a Zoom session. You do not need to register on Friday between 9 and 12. The link will be sent out to everybody here tonight. And again, don't need to register, just pop in. You can get questions answered, meet with one-on-one with staff from the college, and get information, ask questions, etc. And the second thing is that this recording will be available and will be posted and emailed to everybody more than likely in the next 5 to 7 business days. So I just want to tell everybody, I hope they have a great night, and thank you so much for being here. Good night, everybody.